Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is a super special video because I'm going to be making sugar cookies in my Christmas lingerie. So it is December, it is almost Christmas time, it's a couple weeks away from my favorite holiday of all, and I just wanted to do something super special for you guys, and I absolutely love to bake. If you follow me on Instagram, link in description, I always post stuff that I bake on my story, and I get a lot of comments, I get a lot of DMs about it, how I do it. So you guys can join me while I bake some sugar cookies with royal icing. I'm going to decorate them very festively and it's gonna be so much fun. So I will put on my apron right now because I don't want to get my pretty lingerie dirty with all the flour and sugar and spice and everything nice. So let's do that first. I do want to go over all of the ingredients that I'm going to be using for this video. For the sugar cookies, we'll get to the royal icing later. I'm going to be using all-purpose flour. I'm going to be using granulated sugar. I'm going to be using iodized salt, some baking powder. I'm using vanilla flavor imitation because that's all I have right now. But if you have pure vanilla extract, that would probably be best. I'm also going to be using some pure almond extract. For your liquids, you're gonna need some butter, and I'm going to use half butter, half Crisco. You can use all butter or all Crisco if you want, it's up to you. And then I'm going to use some large eggs. For utensils, I have a whisk, I have this metal bowl, I have a bunch of different measuring cups, and my cookie cutters. You can make your own cookie cutters just by tracing out a shape on parchment paper, but I always find these to be a lot easier. Now, I especially want to mention my little assistant here. This is going to be my KitchenAid standalone mixer. I have the paddle attachment attached, and I love this thing. Audrey got me this for Christmas last year, and I have worked this thing out. It is my go-to in the kitchen, and I will be using it for the cookies and the icing. But you can use a standalone mixer or do that old school with the hand. I prefer to let the tools do the work, but like I said, you can always do it on your own. That's how they did it back in the day, so why not? All right, so let's get started. First, what we're gonna do is combine all of our dry ingredients. So you need to get your all-purpose flour, your sugar, your baking powder, and of course your salt, and you're going to put it in a separate bowl. I will have all the measurements in the description, so please reference that when you go to make your cookies. So we start with 2 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Now, most people think it matters like what type of all-purpose flour you use, that it matters like what sugar, what brand, where you get it from. Honestly, I think those people are like basically sponsored by these super expensive grocery stores. And yes, I agree, maybe it does do a little difference, but that Walmart flour is gonna bake the same way that the fresh market flour is gonna bake, period. Next, use a half teaspoon, that is not a half teaspoon, this is a half teaspoon of baking powder. Now, you don't want too much or too little of this, so I would get, exact measurements. And then lastly, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now you're just going to whisk it all together. Make sure it has nice even distribution. You can sift your flour and everything if you want to. I don't do that because it comes pre-sifted, and like I said, that Walmart brand is still going to come through in the end. Right, we're gonna set this aside and then we're gonna move to our KitchenAid. So now we're going to combine our wet ingredients and the sugar. So you're going to start by getting your standalone mixer, and you're going to add about 3/4 of a stick of Crisco. And you're going to need 3/4 of a stick of butter. Now that's gonna equal 3/4 cup of both combined. So be sure to, check on the butter and the Crisco. It has little measurements. It's roughly 12 tablespoons. And you're just going to mix that until it's nice and fluffy. Now you're going to want to add your sugar. I'm going to add it in 1/4 cup increments, but the total is going to be 3/4 cup of sugar, of the granulated sugar that you're going to add into your butter and Crisco mixture. And just, every once in a while, you want to pull down the sides because it is going to build up on the sides, and you want to make sure everything is nice and mixed. So just beat that for about 2 minutes until it's all fluffy and kind of lightened in texture and appearance. Okay, so now we're going to add our flavoring, which is going to be our vanilla extract and our almond extract. Now, the vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons is great. For the almond extract, a little goes a long way. So I would say just use about 1/4 of a teaspoon because, like I said, you will taste that almond flavor, and it's not really something you want to taste in a sugar cookie. Just putting enough in there to make it really flavorful and give it that extra something. All right, so next, just add 1 large egg and mix it on high. All right, now that that's all beaten up, you can add your dry ingredients to your bowl here and mix it all up. It's going to get very thick. As you can see, it's obviously super thick now, a lot like cookie dough because that is what it is. But it's definitely, setting up to a nice thickness. And now that we have all that incorporated, I'm just gonna give it one last little spin, and then we can start building on it. All right, so the next step is you have your dough, and you're going to need some plastic wrap or parchment paper. I don't have parchment paper, so I have plastic wrap. And you're going to place it like so. Take off your rings, and you're gonna get about half of your dough, and You're going to place it in the center. Make like a nice, you know, cookie dough like disc. Okay, something simple. Just make like a disc and then cover it. Make like a nice disc. Doesn't have to be perfect because you're just going to refrigerate it right now and you're going to roll it out later. So that's one disc, and then make your second disc. All right, so we have our 2 discs right here of cookie dough. The goodness, I could eat this just like this, but we have a lot more steps to go. We need to refrigerate this for 1 hour. Now, you're gonna think 1 hour, I don't wanna wait that long, but by the time you're done, you know, doing your dishes, by the time you're, you know, preparing for the royal icing, you're gonna see that an hour has passed by already. So I'm gonna meet you back here in 1 hour. So let's go ahead and refrigerate these and get to cleaning. All right guys, so my cookie dough is officially chilled. I'm actually gonna leave the second sphere in the fridge just because when you are cutting out your cookie dough, you want it to be super solid so it can easily be picked up and moved to your baking tray. Now I have heated my oven to 350 degrees, and while that's being heated, I'm going to basically make my cookies. I have some more flour for my pastry mat here. And then of course I told you guys I have these little cookie cutters and I'm just going to alternate between the 6 of them. I'm gonna use this cookie tray. Now we can start rolling. I'm gonna lay some flour down so that my cookies don't stick to my pastry mat. Just drizzle some more flour and make sure it's nice and easy to roll. And then you can roll it out. You want it to be about 1/4 of an inch. I don't know about you, but I actually like pretty thick sugar cookie. Just gonna drizzle a little bit more on there. And now I'm going to start carving out different shapes. And just like that, we have our first cookie. So I have the first set of cookies all cut out. As you can see, I have trees, stars, a bell, I have a stocking, and a snowflake, and an angel. So we're gonna put these in the oven for 11 to 12 minutes. You just want them to be golden around the edges, and it's gonna be great. Okay, so my cookies are out of the oven, but of course they have to cool, so I'm all about time management. During this time that they're cooling, I want to make my royal icing. So I'm gonna do a bunch of different colors. I'm just gonna kind of experiment, maybe do red, green, some blue for the snowflakes, and I have a black food coloring. So I'm just gonna do a bunch of different stuff. I may even do a yellow. But for this, we're going to need our standalone mixer, or you can just, do it by hand or do it with a hand mixer. You're going to need confectioner's sugar, which is powdered sugar. You're going to need meringue powder. You're going to need a bit of water. I just have it in this measuring cup so I can pour it out, but you might need 9 to 10 tablespoons. And then of course, your food coloring. And I have these little plastic piping bags. Now, I really suggest getting these. They make it so much easier, but if you don't have piping bags, then you can use plastic bags and just cut the tips of the plastic bag. But these are so much easier, and these are literally what they're made for. For this one, you're going to need the whisk attachment. The measurements are going to be in my description. But the confectioner sugar, you're going to need 4 cups. So that's 4 cups of confectioner sugar that I got all over the place. You're going to get your tablespoon measurer and do 3 tablespoons of your meringue powder. We're gonna give that a quick little whisk in our standalone mixer, and then we're gonna slowly add our water. The consistency for the royal icing is going to be very, very runny. That's completely normal, and it's just going to harden up as it gets on the cookie. So this is the consistency that you want it to be. It's going to be kind of runny, but that's perfect. When it hardens, it's gonna look great and glossy. After you mix your royal icing, you're just going to separate it, of course, into different things, and be sure to make your different colors. I wanted to go with like a light blue, but I just went with a navy instead. It might be fun. I also went with white, a Christmas red, and a Christmas green. So let's decorate these. Okay, I am officially done. I've decorated all the cookies. It was quite a bit, so it took about 35 to 40 minutes, but they look great. Anyways, so I'm probably going to be doing more of these videos. I really enjoyed it. It does take a little while, but I think the more I do it, the better it will be. So I'm probably gonna start a new series on my channel where I bake in lingerie. So stay tuned for more of those videos. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on my next baking in lingerie episode. Bye.